In this video, we're going to talk about how to apply the concept of everyone is you pushed out to improve your relationships. So by the end of this video, you'll have some practical tools to bring harmony and understanding into all the various connections that you have in your life. Hi, I'm Jeff, and I teach practical and spiritual methods to organize and empower your life. So if you've ever wondered how you can improve your relationships, then this is the video for you, because I'm going to talk about some very practical ways that we can apply this concept of everyone is you pushed out from Neville Goddard to work toward a greater understanding with others and ultimately improve all the relationships that we have in our lives. So first, a little bit of background. I'm sure many of you are familiar with this concept, but everyone is you pushed out is this profound concept that teaches us that the people and situations in our lives actually reflect back to us our own inner beliefs and assumptions. So in this way, you can think of it like a mirror. What you see in others is actually a projection of what's happening within yourself. So for example, if you have this inner belief, this inner dialogue that people don't respect you, if that's a really strong, deeply ingrained belief that you have carried around for a long time, then you might notice that this comes up in your relationships, that you feel disrespected, that you feel that people don't listen to you. But here's the really cool and empowering part, that when you shift these internal beliefs, often the behavior of these people around you shifts as well. And in relationships specifically, this can really be a game changer, because instead of focusing on what the other person is doing wrong, you can turn inward, adjust your thoughts, and just see how the situation and the dynamics between you improve. So now let's talk about how we can actually apply this concept. The very first step is simple. It's just self-awareness. We have to be aware of what is going on in our own mind. So take a moment to reflect on your assumptions about a specific person or people in general. Do you assume that other people are selfish, unkind, distracted? What you want to do is just take a moment, just a few minutes, and write down these beliefs that you have. Again, this could be about a specific person in your life who you're having some difficulty with, or it could be just thoughts that you have about people in general, maybe beliefs that were sort of implanted in you in your childhood from family or your parents. So now what we want to do, now that we have that list of internal assumptions, is we essentially want to flip every one of those negative assumptions about people into something positive. So for example, if you have this general idea that other people don't care about me, if that's something you've been carrying for a long time and that's something you wrote down, what you can now do is flip that and say something like, people value and appreciate me on a very deep level. Another one is that maybe you find that you think that people are always distant, right? People are always distant from me. People don't share much with me. Flip that around as well and say, people love talking to me. People love sharing their stories with me and confiding in me. People trust me. So what you can do is go through one by one all of these limiting negative assumptions that you have about a specific person or people in general, and then just make a line on a sheet of paper and then write the opposite one. So once you have reframed these assumptions, now use these new affirmations to help reinforce these new beliefs. So ideally, you want to repeat these throughout the day, as well as in the morning and in the evening before going to bed. But you want to start to cultivate this new awareness and implant these new positive beliefs in your mind. If you want to take it a step further, here's one additional exercise you can do to sort of turbocharge this process and really plant these ideas deeply in your mind. And it's a really simple visualization exercise. Just close your eyes, sit down or lay down, relax, like you would for meditation, and just close your eyes and imagine that specific person that you're thinking of. Or if you're thinking about people in general, just choose one person in particular to do this visualization exercise with, family member, friend, anybody. And what you want to do is now imagine interacting with this person in that new way that you just described. So again, if you had the thought that, oh, people don't care what I have to say, people don't respect me, Now we've flipped that. We've said, oh, people love hearing what I have to say. People just trust me right from the get-go. For whatever reason, they are just drawn to me and they value my input. We want to flip that and just visualize yourself having that conversation with a person with that new mindset and that new frame. And what this does is this practice helps to align our subconscious with these new assumptions, but it's an ongoing process. These visualization exercises are helpful, but you want to catch yourself throughout the day when you're operating from that place of those old negative limiting beliefs. And again, we want to replace them with these new empowering ones. So now let's talk about overcoming some common challenges when it comes to this concept. Now, one thing you might think is, well, okay, this is all great, but what if someone really is just rude or distant or mean to me in some way? What am I supposed to do then? Well, the first thing we can do is just forgive. And holding on to these negative assumptions about people or anger or any kind of negative emotion, it just sort of keeps that cycle alive. And as difficult as this is to do, it's incredibly hard. It feels almost impossible in some situations, but it's definitely the right path. We have to ultimately forgive others, no matter what they've done to us. But at the same time, this doesn't mean that we just excuse bad behavior. So there's this important balance here, that on one hand, we can't change the past. So people who have shown up in your life in a certain way, sure, you have to deal with the reality. And it's not your job to change others. So forgiveness is the first step. But then also, not everyone belongs in your life. So if people have routinely shown you who they are, and they're constantly negative or saying rude things to you and draining your energy, then it's probably time to reassess that relationship. And perhaps that person really shouldn't be in your life. So that's one of these common challenges about this concept of everyone as you pushed out. You want to analyze these situations to see maybe how did you contribute to the situation. But when you're dealing with some of these negative things, it's also important to forgive others, but also protect your energy. And at times, just not allow certain people to get that close to you. So what kind of an impact can it have if you start applying these concepts in your life? Well, first of all, you'll stop seeing others as the problem in your life, and you'll learn to take responsibility for your own energy and how you're spending your time and your energy and what you're focusing on. Another thing is that you create space for genuine connection, free from judgment. You learn to just accept things as they are without trying to change everything or everyone. And again, at times this means interacting with people and realizing, this person or this situation isn't a good fit for me. Especially if you're someone on a spiritual path, which you likely are if you're watching one of my videos, then it's important at times that we reassess things and people and relationships. And at times we have to make the tough decision that, that person isn't good for me, I'll send them love, but that person doesn't belong in my life. And then finally, and most importantly, applying these concepts can really help you just feel empowered. And part of that is because we realize that we have the power to change relationships within ourselves. And if you think about it, imagine how this could totally transform your life. Like a romantic relationship, your friendships, your relationships with family. Just if you learn to approach all of these relationships in your life through this lens of everyone is you pushed out, right? It's a really fascinating way to view the world and to view these relationships. So if you're ready to start taking charge of your relationships and using this transformative principle, then start with some of the exercises that I shared today, writing down your assumptions and some of those simple visualization exercises. And let me know some of your results in the comments below. I'd love to hear all about them. And remember, when you shift your perspective and your perspective of others, the whole world can shift with you. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.